Triple E EDC back again with another knife video. So this is the Hogue Sig Sauer K320, and this is a really, really nice knife. This actually made my Best Knives 2020 Top 10 video, and it was pretty high on the list. And it's still sort of up there, but it's marred a little bit by the fact that there's a price increase going into 2022, which we'll talk about later. But in any event, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons real quick so you guys can get an idea for the size of the knife, and then we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about this. So this is the Spyderco Para 3, and we have the Paramilitary 2 somewhere here. Let's go ahead and grab one. Sorry about the rustling. Here's the Paramilitary 2. And Spidey Chef, Benchmade Bailout, Benchmade Bugout. Now this is sort of Hogue's direct response to the Griptilian. I actually don't have my Griptilian here to go ahead and compare it to, but in general, what I'll say is the Griptilian actually has a shorter handle and a fatter handle. So you can see here, actually the handle on this is quite a bit thinner and less contoured than a Griptilian. So that's going to be the major difference right off the bat with that. And then obviously the blade shape's a little different, and the Benchmade Griptilian has thumb studs on one version and a Spidey hole on another. So those are the main differences there. In any event, let's go ahead and talk about the good and the bad of the knife. First of all, what Hogue has done in general is actually improve upon quite a bit a lot of what Benchmade does best, right? So you have the axis bar, the axis style lock. I think they call this the able lock. And Hogue has done a great job of sort of taking that after the patent expired and applying it across what they do. They generally have better Omega springs than Benchmade does, and it's a slightly different feel, but they are a little bit better quality overall, which is pretty nice. Also, they have a similar warranty to Benchmade, and they've done a lot of what Benchmade does best. Like I said, like these size knives. They're not doing the same style exactly or anything like that, but as far as the size classes and the purpose of the knives and the thought process behind them, they're emulating them in some way. For instance, the Deca with the Bugout and the K320 with the Griptilian. And they're targeting the same target market, I think, as well. So a couple things there. This is a Sig Sauer sort of version. They have a partnership. Hogue has a partnership with Sig Sauer for their guns, and they build grips for the guns. So the handles are going to actually match the guns, and they're coming out with an aluminum version, I believe, later this year of the K320 that may have. I think some of them will have inlays, some of them won't. But the aluminum version also will. I believe match some of the grips as well, but this I believe is the same sort of polymer material that is on some of the Sig Sauer guns. So that's good as well, as if you have one of those, this will probably match as well, so that's great. Another thing that is nice on here is the blade shape on here is excellent. It really does very well. I think this is a Cerakote coating. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong down below. But Benchmade and Hogue, I think, both use Cerakote and DLC, but not across all of their knives, meaning I think some of their knives are Cerakote and some of their knives are DLC. Cannot remember which one this is. Probably should have checked that before the video, but it is what it is. Just in general, so you guys know, when you look it up, the DLC is going to be a lot harder of a material and will show a lot less wear. Cerakote is going to show a little bit more wear, but it's also a hard material and should last quite a while. DLC will usually last a little bit longer. So just something to keep in mind. Actually, I don't really usually see DLC wearing away, even with really hard use. It can, but it doesn't usually. I think I had one knife where that happened. The next thing on here is the ergonomics on here are excellent. Like I said, Hogue makes grips for guns, and they do an excellent job on ergonomics on their knives. So you have the regular handle position, which I think here is going to be kind of about an 8 out of 10 in ergonomics in my large glove size hands, and it feels just as good up here on the choke up position, which is one of the things that this has that the Benchmade Griptilian doesn't, is two hand positions. You have the hand position back here and then the choke up position, so that's nice as well. Like I said, blade shape on this is excellent. It really flies through boxes and different things. I can show you guys real quick. Let's go ahead and throw this up here. So, you can see here, it really just sort of flies through the material. So it really is excellent in that regard. And you can see how the coating sort of does with this. It gets the material on it, and then you just wipe it away, and it is generally gone. So really, really nice in that regard. With respect to the knife itself. Lanyard holds out of the way, which is something that I really like, and the clip is a deep carry clip. So those are all really, really nice things on this knife, and are things that really make it, you know, one that's highly recommendable. The last thing on here I'll talk about, I think, is the steel. Steel's S30V, which is great for a knife in this price range. But it, you know, now that the knife is a little bit more expensive, it's sort of getting up into the price range where S30V is more standard than a good deal. Especially considering their own knife, the Hogue is 20CV, which is a little bit better steel than S30V in general, although S30V is still super steel and people sleep on it, and they shouldn't. So that is that. Next up, like I said, the crossbar lock on here is awesome, and this does, you know, it is a very fidgety knife as a result, so just be aware of that. All right, so that's the good. Let's go ahead and talk about the neutral, which now is the price. So the price used to be good. I think these were around 135-ish. These are now like 152-ish. By the way, if you guys are interested in buying this, go ahead and check the link below. I'm going to go ahead and link it to DLT, and you know, I have an affiliate link there, and they're an excellent company, and that's the reason I work with them. If you use the links, it benefits the channel at no cost to you. But let me go ahead and tell you the price on this. Became a little bit more neutral because it went up, but a lot of this stuff went up. Spyderco went up, Benchmade went up. Like, you know, a lot of the prices on knives have gone up significantly over the last couple of years. So it's not really surprising, especially for USA made, which I should have put in the plus section. If that's something that's important, this is a USA made knife, 100% made in the USA. So that's great. So now onto the bad, because there is some bad on this. So one of the bad is obviously, and it's not really a knock. I mean, this is a polymer material. I prefer something like aluminum, and in this price range, Benchmade does aluminum in the price range. Sorry guys, I got a truck going by. Let's go ahead and pause for a second. All right, so the aluminum handles would be great. I can't wait until the next version comes out. I'm kind of curious what the price is going to be on it, but you know, I love aluminum. Benchmade's able to deliver aluminum in that 150 to 200 range, and you know, Kershaw's able to deliver USA made aluminum in a budget range, more like 50 to you know, for 40 to 100 bucks. So you know, I think that that they could step up to aluminum without that much of a price increase. Next up is the pocket clip. Well, I like the fact that you know, this is not decked out with like the old Deca pocket clip, where it, you know, it said Hogue all the way down in bright letters. I do like the fact that it has the American flag, but I don't generally like billboarding in general, so I prefer not to have the billboarding. Also, I know the texturing on the pocket clip is something people prefer, but it's something I could do without. I mean, the pocket clip is angled enough that I can get a good enough grip, and I'm not really worried about it. And the last thing is the pocket clip is an inset. The screws are flat, but it would be nice if they were inset into the scales. So that's a couple of things on that. The next thing is that on the opening hole here could be a little bit better. I tend to have to give a little wrist, you know, to get that out. Now, can I get that out? Yeah, but it doesn't without giving wrist. Yes, I can, but it's not as secure and comfortable to do it that way. And I think that has a lot to do with the tallness of the scales as opposed to the thickness, like you get on the Griptilian. One thing to mention is the Griptilian is it's no longer in that $100 range. It's now more in the $130 range. But you're getting that you're getting S30V in the Griptilian. You're getting you're getting you know, the crossbar lock and a different handle shape. So if you prefer a more contoured handle shape, you know, that's going to be a better option probably. But they're both comfortable, and both are recommended. But the Griptilian is 20 bucks cheaper, and the build quality is very similar. I mean, the Hogue is maybe a slightly better build quality, but it's a little bit different like the handle's a little bit better build quality, but I feel like I like the Benchmade blades a little bit better. So that is that's just some commentary on that. The last thing is the screw holes here. I don't love that the holes here are, you know, a different color than the rest of it. It just it draws attention to a spot that's basically only to swap the clip. Now, that is a plus, by the way, that this is righty and lefty friendly, because it is a crossbar lock, so it's the same either way, and you just flip the clip. But if you're going to drill out the holes and then put, you know, and then thread the holes here, it'd be nice if they did something so that it wasn't so noticeable. So that's that. And one other thing that I'll mention also is that they use T8 hardware, which is a great thing that I think Benchmade uses T6, so that's an upgrade over that. Anyway, overall recommendations on this knife is I really do recommend this knife. At the $150 price range, it's honestly one of the best things in the market. Although the last competitive option that I'll give you as far as this price range is the KnifeWorks exclusive Ritter RSK. You're going to get 20 CV on it. They used to be in this $150 price range. I think they're now running probably 170-ish, but just something to be aware of. And they have sort of that Griptilian shape, but it's the Ritter Griptilian, and a similar shape to this. And it's another option with 20 CV, and it's also made by Hogue, frankly. So you know, it's just as good as quality as this, if not maybe a little better, because it has G10 scales. So those are a couple of things to be aware of in the range over here. Obviously, you know, competitive options also the 940, the Paramilitary 2, and all things like that. So just again, you're in a competitive price range when you're, you know, approaching that 150 to 200 price range. Again, recommended knife, but if it was me, I'd honestly probably save a little bit and get to that 200 price point where you can get some nicer things. But if you're really stretching at 150, this is a great option. Thanks so much for watching.